that one bullshit PlayStation trophy. So I recently made a bullshit trophy video on The Walking Dead Season 2 because I felt that it was absolutely bullshit that the game didn't have a platinum trophy, yet all the other seasons of Walking Dead did. And it's kind of got me thinking about my own trophy list and a load of other games that I feel actually did deserve a platinum instead of just a few measly trophies to give you 100% completion. So this video is going to be a bit different to the normal trophy videos, and I'm going to just give you my top 5 games from my own personal trophy list. So there's probably other games out there that are more deserving, but these are just ones that I've played where I felt that I've kind of done enough to earn a platinum, you know what I mean? Some games where, you know, the main campaign takes hours to complete, and then you're looking at a load of grindy leveling up or a load of collectibles to grab. So those are the things I'm going to be sort of looking at here for reasons why I think these games in particular deserved a shiny platinum trophy at the end of it and not just 100%. Resident Evil 4. Now, what a fucking game that was. It was a complete game changer that just changed the series in general and also influenced other games like Dead Space. So, the Resident Evil games usually have awesome trophy lists and they've all had platinums except Resident Evil 4. What the hell were you thinking, Capcom? You just took in a few random ass bronze fucking trophies and that's about your lot. So the trophies in this game is just fucking terrible, to be honest, as the majority of them are just simple story based ones that you'll just unlock as you go through the campaign with Leon. So, you know, you'll defeat certain bosses, you'll meet certain people, you'll save Ashley for the first time, things like that. You'll just get them naturally, and so they're not really that challenging. And Resident Evil trophies usually are quite challenging, and they usually get you to do pretty much everything in the game in ways that you wouldn't even imagine possible, such as completing it without healing, without saving, or without using any guns and just using the knife. But unfortunately, Resident Evil 4 doesn't even bother with those sort of trophies, and it's a real shame because the ones that it does have, such as the story ones, are just fucking pointless. I think the main challenge in this one would be the trophy for completing it on Pro, and the trophy for getting all the bottle caps, which relates to the sort of shooting gallery mode that you can do when you meet the merchant later in the game, as it has this little room you can go into to do these sort of shooting galleries. And yeah, they are kind of challenging in a way because of the awkwardness of how you aim, but they'll only take a couple of retries at best, and eventually you will get enough of them. I think there are various modes to it, so it does get harder as you go through each sort of set of games on there, but like I said, it won't take you that long to do. The other tough trophy in the list is probably for completing the game on Pro difficulty, as this will really test your skills, just like all the other resis on their hardest difficulty. Ammo is limited, you won't get as many ink ribbons to save, and you'll only take a couple of hits before you're in danger and almost dead. So you do have to be careful there, and that is a big challenge to get through, honestly. It took me a while, it was a slow burn to get through it, and that alone makes you feel like you should get a platinum because that is a challenge. There's also one for getting all of the costumes in the game. So you need to get like Leon's RPD suit, the night armor for Ashley. I think she has like a cheerleader one or something like that, a skimpy outfit. And Leon has his like pimp suit, don't he? So those require you to get the S rank in the game. So that means you have to get through it really quick. But again, it's just disappointing. It's a disappointing trophy list compared to like Resi 1, which I think is probably one of the greatest trophy lists of all time. Resi 0 had a good trophy list. 2 Remake had a good one. Even Code Veronica had, that was a straight up PS2 emulation. Even that game had a platinum trophy. So I just don't get why they didn't do it with Resi 4, because again, like a lot of other games on this list I've gone through today, they were all fully fledged titles back in the day on their original release. So there was clearly a lot of content there. There's clearly a lot of hours and a lot of grind and a challenge for you to actually get a platinum. So it just baffles me as to why these games never got a platinum trophy.
Bingo.
Okay, so Super Stardust HD was the granddaddy of PlayStation trophies, as it was the first game to actually come out with some trophy support. So naturally, it was a game that I had to get. I had to buy this just to see what these trophy things were all about, and it's one that I think deserved to have a platinum at the end of it, and not just the 100% mark. Because the game is fairly challenging in itself, really. It's this arcade sort of shooter where you fly around in a sort of sphere sort of track, and you have to do various things in the game. So there's arcade mode where you have to complete it, obviously. You have to do some certain things like get 10 bombs on you at once, survive without getting hit, things like that. So it is quite a challenging set of trophies anyway. There are a few in there that I didn't get, like getting 15 bombs, destroying 10 nukes, and surviving 7 minutes without dying on what I think was probably one of the harder difficulties. Because, like I say, they were tough, and I think there's nothing worse for me than having a 100% game that is really challenging. So you spend a lot of time, you grind, you practice and practice, and then you don't get that platinum reward at the end. They also had a co-op trophy, which just instantly took me out of getting 100% because I didn't really have any mates to play this with, or any mates who were actually good enough to help me get this. So I do think this game should have had a platinum trophy. I mean, it was the first game, for God's sake, that actually had trophies, and it would have been nice if the original game with trophies actually did come with the platinum. I think they may have corrected this in the re-release, but the original one didn't have a platinum, and I really do think it should.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
In around 2011, I think, Sega re-released Sonic Adventure and the Sonic Adventure DX upgrade onto PlayStation 3 for Sony owners to finally get a chance to play this Dreamcast classic. And with it, unfortunately, were only a handful of trophies. The first few bronze trophies that you can get in the game are just simple story progression ones that you will just unlock at various points throughout the story when you meet characters such as Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and so on. So those trophies are initially quite easy to get because you're just going to get them naturally as you're playing through the game's adventure mode. So those aren't too taxing, really. So one of my annoying things about this game, not having a platinum, is that this was an original Dreamcast game back in the day, so it was a full-priced, full game. It was a full retail game. So there's obviously a lot of content to this title. It'll keep you playing for hours and hours. So it really should have had a platinum because the effort and time you've got to put into it, it's there. There's a lot of content here, so it was deserving of a platinum for that. So the next few trophies, the silver trophies, and the main trophy you'll have to go for is getting all of the emblems in the game. But it also breaks it down into silver trophies for getting them in the adventure fields, the races, and the challenge sections. And as you can see from my save file here, it took me around 20 hours to get 122 emblems at this point. So it will take you a long time, and it does feel like a kick in the teeth to finally do it all but not have that platinum, because you have to go through Tails, Sonic, Knuckles, Amy, E102 Gammas, and even Big the Cat's awful fishing sections in order to complete each character story part to 100%. And you then need to get all the emblems for each character. So that means getting the A ranks or S ranks or whatever it was in this game. I can't quite remember. And that'll take you forever as well. There's a few more story trophies for completing the game and completed with all characters. But the biggest one is getting all 130 emblems, because that requires you to also spend time raising Chows as well, because you have to do one trophy to get all the races done and get a perfect. And get all the emblems on them, and that'll just take you forever, because that is such an annoying grind to raise a Chow up and to get them to like their super form and get them to be able to beat everyone else in the race, and that's just such a fucking grind. And for the Chow alone, it really should have just had a platinum, because like I say, there's enough content here to justify it, and it's just really frustrating that it doesn't have one, because I would have really liked to have had a Sonic Adventure Platinum and not just a Sonic Adventure 100% trophy set. And it still grates me to this day that I spent so much time on this and didn't get a shiny Platinum at the end of it. God damn it, Sega. The next game I'm going to talk about is Beyond Good and Evil HD, which was originally a PS2 game back in the day, and this was a really cool sort of platformer adventure sort of open world game that was kind of a sleeper hit on the PS2. It didn't really sell that well, so I was quite surprised when Ubisoft announced that they were actually going to re-release this in HD for the PS3, and I was really looking forward to playing it again and getting that shiny platinum. But unfortunately, when I did buy the game, I was disappointed to realise that it was just another 100% game with a few measly trophies thrown in. And it was really disappointing, to be honest, because I think if this game did have that platinum, a lot more people probably would have brought this game. But I still got it regardless, because it is a great game. But the trophy list, I've got to say, is very lackluster. It seems like it was just thrown in last minute as an afterthought, really. None of the trophies are particularly that challenging. There's a few for sort of story progression. There's a couple of collectible trophies for you to get. I think you need to get so many orbs and things like that. There's a few for leveling up Jade, so you need to get all 10 hearts for her. Those are found throughout the game. And there's also one where you need to upgrade the hovercraft to its maximum. But those, again, are fairly easy to do. You can use a guide to find the upgrade locations, so they're not that challenging. There's also a handful of mini-games thrown in that you can get trophies for, but again, they're just not that challenging. And for a game like this, and for a game that was cool and as unique as this, I think it should have had a better trophy list. While the game is quite easy and short in general, I still think they could have expanded upon the list, adding more story trophies, just more random ones, combat-related ones, and things like that, to make it a bigger list, to give us that platinum, because I do think that this game should have had one. And I think that it didn't also affect the sales, because back then people were crazy for platinums, and if this was an easy one, people would have brought it. But it's still a great game, but I do think it should have had a platinum trophy. So next up on my list is Sonic Adventure 2 and its battle upgrade, which again Sega re-released along with the Adventure 1, and yet again it didn't have a platinum trophy, did it? No, instead it had again a handful of trophies just to give us that shitty 100%. So yeah, a lot of my reasons for making this are the same as the original Adventure game, in that again it was a full-priced full Dreamcast game back in the day, so there is a lot of content here, and with the battle upgrade it adds even more content to the game. I mean, you can see from my fully completed save file here, I spent, 30 odd hours on this game alone, because you need to do all of the things in the game. You need to get A ranks on every single stage in the game, and some of these are ball-breakingly hard, especially like the Sonic ones and the Shadow ones, where you have to go really fucking fast quickly to get through and get to the end. This is a frustrating game to try and get 100% in, because it will take you quite a while. A lot of retries will be needed on each stage for you to perfect the route and know exactly what you need to do and where you need to go to get through it quick enough to get that A rank, because you'll be battling against an awkward camera, some quite frankly dodgy controls, and then just randomness, especially in those knuckle stages where you need to get the Master Emerald fragments really quick, so you need to hope that you got the right route. It is a frustrating game, but it's also a really cool and fun one at the same time. It's a bit weird like that. But that will be your biggest challenge, just getting all those A ranks. Once you've done that, you will have to do the Chow Guard and stuff. Again, that makes its reappearance in this game, and that will again be a big time sink. There's also not as many story trophies in this one, I don't think. It's more just completing the hero story, the dark story, and then the final one. So you won't be getting many trophies as you play through, just unlock. There's also a couple for, I think there's one actually, for the kart racing game that's in this one. Again, that one is an awkward one to get because of the controls. You need to be pretty good in that, so that'll take you a while. So yeah, this is a frustrating game to 100%, and it's definitely not an easy one. And again, it's a big time sink, and it will take you a while to do, and it is challenging. So I do think that it should have had a platinum. I don't know why Sega didn't bother to put one in. There's clearly enough stuff they could have done. I mean, if they really wanted to pad it out, they could have done a bronze trophy for completing every stage. There could have been more for the battle stuff as well. There's a handful of trophies for doing races and things like that. But again, it's not... The problem with these, they're just such a lackluster, minimal effort sort of trophy list that's just bolted on. But I do think this should have had a platinum because, again, it is a challenging one to do. And I feel like if you have managed to A rank every single stage, your only reward is the Green Hill stage, and while that is a great one to get, I do think you deserve more than just that, because raising those fucking shells as well, that takes ages. Thankfully, there is a few glitches you can do. I think it's in this one. It might be in the first one, actually. There's like item dupe glitches you can do where you put an item down, and then as he tries to take it, you pick it up, but the shell will still take it, leaving you to be able to put it back down again. So you can speed up the shell's sort of evolution and their rank up, but again, it will still take you a long time. And if you were to do it naturally, that would be even more of an insult to not get a platinum, because again, you're probably looking at like double the time. So yeah, I think a 30+ hour game really should have a platinum. It's a no-brainer. So come on, Sega, when you inevitably re-release these on the PS5, put a goddamn platinum in it, will you? Because I don't want to do all that again for nothing.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Bullshit.
Bullshit! You said so! It's all bullshit!
Oh shit!
Shit!
Shit! Shit! Shit!
So there you have it, my top 5 games that I think truly deserved a platinum trophy for your troubles in collecting all those little trophies. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Any games I missed out, shout them out and let's talk about them here. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.